In its early days, New England cable news earned a reputation for solid news with a regional focus. But recently, NECN has suffered a bit of an identity crisis after going through a revamp, and now it appears it's on the verge of another.
More of Billy, Jenny, and the best food in New England, coming right up.
Unfortunately, not for much longer. Despite being one of NECN's most popular and profitable shows, TV Diner has been canceled.
Tell them TV Diner sent you.
That move comes amid larger changes. There's new station management, and the station is being folded into NBC's owned and operated stations division. So far, NECN will only say that it is refocusing its mission on being the leading provider of breaking news, information, weather, and sports.
Got your black and gold on?
But this would be NECN's second major makeover in 3 years. After Comcast acquired the station in 2009, longtime GM Charlie Kravitz was let go.
Plenty of sunshine and seasonably cold.
In came fresh new faces, while veteran anchors like R.D. Saul and Chet Curtis were pushed out. The station also dropped its commitment to long-form news and documentary features. But if that previous revamp didn't work, where NECN goes from here is anybody's guess.
Well, I'm going to be the last one to criticize an organization that says it's going to be doing more serious news. I mean, they said that's their stated mission. They're going to stop doing these rebroadcasts of newscasts that are they're playing as if they're live, but they're not. They're on tape. They're going to end that, as they well should. It's going to be an expense. It's going to be a process, and they need more people to help them do it. I don't know what the real reason was they dropped TV Diner. It was, I think, the most popular thing on the air there. But there's also speculation, and Dan, you might know about this, that NBC might pick them up as an O&O and drop Channel 7, because they've had a long-standing cantankerous relationship with Ed Anson over there, who owns Sunbeam, which owns Channel 7, and that maybe this is positioning them to do that. There may be some complications because it's a cable outlet. I don't really know how that would work, but
that's a pretty interesting possibility for sure. And yeah, I mean, NBC and Ed Anson have not gotten along much over the years, that's for sure. I don't know why you get rid of TV Diner. I mean, it was their top-rated show for many years. If they're going to do more news, more live news, fewer rebroadcasts, I think that's great. I have to say, as somebody who's watched NECN for years, and I know people over there and like them, I liked some of the longer pieces. I liked the fact that when you would get to the bottom of the hour, they would have quite a long news feature many nights. I think that a lot more short breaking news isn't necessarily a service to people, and it seems to me that they do an awful lot of weather.
They do a lot of weather.
I mean, it just seems like every time you turn it on, there's Matt Noyes giving you the weather. Very good weatherman, but, you know, it just seems like there's more than we need.
Well, I was a freelancer at NECN, full disclosure, from 2000 to 2002, and the station has always had a bit of an identity crisis. When I was brought on there, they said, you know, we don't really want to cover every shooting in the city of Boston. But sure enough, when it was a slow news day and the police scanners were humming, we'd be chasing to a news scene just with everybody else in the city. I think that, no offense to TV Diner, it was a very well-produced, fun show, but I think that this was done for two reasons. The first is that the station management is clearly reacting to viewer habits, and people are tuning in for shorter and shorter amounts of time. They want to see the news, they want to see the weather, they want to see traffic. They don't want to see an hour-long show on sports or travel or food. And I think the second reason, which, you know, management benefits because of, is that the less popular personalities you have on the show, the more of an upper hand that management has when it comes to renegotiating contracts or negotiating contracts. And I think that even though we'd be hard-pressed to compare Channel 7 to NECN, I think NECN is heading in that direction, that it's less about the personalities and more about the news operation. Again, not like 7 in terms of tone, but certainly in terms of model.
I think you're really onto something there when you talk about the personalities. I mean, my sense of TV Diner is that it is a very popular show, that it really did draw actually a lot of people to the network. Obviously, Billy Costa has this other platform, Kiss 108, where he can sort of do this, I mean, that allows him to be a big personality, and then that translates and helps him on NECN. But people who are well known, who are popular, also get to call the shots and say, well, this is how much money I want, right? And maybe they're not interested in that. So, and I also think it's probably higher production value than most of their other shows. So, you know, they also might have a bigger support staff than NECN is interested in sponsoring. I think the real question is then, okay, what is the market for local TV news going forward? And there was a very interesting study out of Pew in 2012 showing that really jobs are being cut in local newsrooms across the country, not just newspaper but television, and that now I think it was something like 20% of stories are over 1 minute long, 80% are under a minute. I mean, we really have gotten into this era of super, super short, completely not in depth. You know, I should say also that I was an analyst at NECN for several years back in the Chet Curtis era.
Yeah. Well, I think a couple things. Back in the day, as they say, they did a combination. They did short and long pieces, and they were known as a go-to place to go when something happened around here. I mean, it really was a local CNN, and some of their documentaries were just fantastic and were richly rewarded. So you can have both, and most successful stations do both. I think it's possible to do. Maybe that's the direction they're going, and they haven't given us much information about how to do it. Likewise, I get where you're going with the no more hour shows on any one specific thing, but you could do a couple things. You could have taken pieces from the show, put it through in some of your newscasts or whatever as a, you know, kind of kicker thing, and then also run the show at another time. So it was possible, but they obviously wanted to make a statement, you know, by canceling this, saying, yeah, if we're taking the hit on our most popular show, we're making a statement about what's going to happen. So I look forward to seeing what's happening, even though probably TV Diner is going to be picked up by somebody.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
us.
Sure. Yeah.